the benefits of apprenticeships in Apprenticeship Week. My name is Kevin Robertson. I work in the training department, so I'm a training manager for STAR, and we work with there's a number of suppliers out there for apprenticeships, but we work specifically with two, Remit and Hit Training. And just to let you know, we're going to have, so they're going to, you're not going to be listening to me. Lisa and Ben will be going through the benefits of apprenticeships from their perspective, and giving you the great information. So basically, I will pass over to Lisa.
Thank you, Kevin. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, I've got
We
my
can, Lisa.
I'm
Yeah,
like
we can hear you.
perfect. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that introduction. So, yeah, hi everyone, and thanks for attending today. I'm Lisa Bradshaw. I'm one of the senior national account managers here at Remit Training. Have you got my slides, Kevin? Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, as Kevin sort of alluded to, I'll just be talking to you about some of the benefits of having an apprenticeship in your pub, and also the programs that we offer, and just a bit around the process. And if there is any questions, obviously we can answer them later on, or I can share my details afterwards. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so just a little bit around Remit. So we are an independent national training provider established back in 2008. We specialise in people development schemes and apprenticeships. We specialise in many different sectors, including automotive, manufacturing, hospitality chains, councils and supermarkets. And on the screen, just some of the clients that we've worked with for a number of years now. Our development coaches are highly experienced in their fields, having come from their industries in which they teach, and they work with around 2,500 apprentices a year. Back in July 2023, we're incredibly proud to say that Ofsted graded us as outstanding, and we have been awarded the Platinum accreditation by Investors in People. Thanks, Kevin. So for those of you that don't know what an apprenticeship is, an apprenticeship combines training, development and job experience to build an individual's knowledge, skills and behaviours and readiness for a defined job role. In terms of funding for apprenticeships, so for learners that are 16 to 21, this will be fully funded by the government. And if learners are aged 21 or above, Star Pubs will pay 5% of the levy. In terms of eligibility, so there are a few things to make a learner eligible. So they must require significant new learning. So to be eligible for an apprenticeship, learners must gain substantial new knowledge, skills and behaviours. And if a learner is already highly experienced in their field, they may not qualify for the funding. We do complete a skills review, which will assess the learner's current experience and training to determine their eligibility. In terms of residency and national requirements, learners must have lived in the UK, EU or EEA or Switzerland for the past 3 years, and they must spend at least 50% of their working time in the UK, hold a UK or EEA national with settled or pre-settled status, and not be in any other form of education. Learners will need to complete a maths and English diagnostic and reach the entry requirements unless they can provide exemptions. This is purely to understand their individual skills plan and to see what, if any, support is required. An education status requirement: to start an apprenticeship, learners must not be enrolled in any other full or part-time education programme. So just this is very top line in terms of the programmes that we offer. So we offer 4 programmes to yourselves. The first one is Production Chef Level 2. So that's a 12-month programme with roughly a 3-month endpoint assessment. So just some of the modules and who it's for, I'll cover in these next few slides. But if you want any more in-depth information, Tracy and Kevin both have all of the fact sheets, which gives you a bit more detail around the qualifications. So for the Production Chef Level 2, it's for junior chefs aspiring to take on a more in-depth understanding of the catering industry. Some of the modules that they cover are techniques in presenting and cooking and presentation of food, the importance of organisational consistency and compliance with specific legislation. For the Food and Beverage Team Member Level 2, this is a 12-month programme with a 3-month endpoint assessment. This is for junior front of house team members who deal directly with customers on a day-to-day basis. This involves things like professional standards and exceptions, a greater understanding of the wider hospitality industry, and the principles of communication and feedback. The Hospitality Supervisor Level 3 is a 12-month programme with 3-month endpoint assessment, and this is for first-line team supervisors. Some of the modules and topics they'll cover are around business insights, different leadership styles, driving excellence, innovation, and leadership and change empowerment. And for the level 4 hospitality, that should say manager. So there is a typo there. So that's my fault. So hands up. So apologies. That should say manager, not supervisor, guys. So I do apologise. I'll get that changed. So this is for new and existing front of house managers. And this covers topics such as understanding of relevant operating models, the identification of potential risks and contingency plans, and looking at different management and leadership styles. In terms of how we deliver our programme, so it's an engaging, interactive and varied level of support. So there is a responsibility from both the learner and manager to commit for the whole of the 12-month programme. In terms of the delivery, this is done through a number of group sessions. The learners will work alongside a mentor stroke manager in the workplace. There will be monthly sessions with a remit development coach. There will be 12 weekly progress reviews, which the learner and manager will both be required to attend. The learner will be required to complete some self-study and assignments, and we do have a number of platforms where that is available to the learner and the manager to access at any time. They are available 24 hours as well. And you can access your learners' progress through our internal platforms on ePortfolio 24/7 to see how they are progressing. So how do apprenticeships work? So as I've alluded to, they are a blended approach. So there are a number of group sessions with peers and other colleagues on the same qualification. This might not just be Star Pubs, there might be other clients on them sessions as well. But we do believe that that is a great way for learners to interact and learn from others in the same industry. Learners will work alongside a mentor in the workplace to make sure they are getting the right level of support throughout the duration of the programme. They will have monthly sessions with a learning and reviews will take place with the development coach to make sure that they are progressing nicely. Mostly these will be virtual. The learners will also be required to complete some self-study and assignments, so they will be set that by their development coach on a monthly basis, and they will obviously check in monthly to ensure that that is progressing as planned. Regular reviews will take place around every 8 to 10 weeks, where the manager and mentor will both be required to check in on the learner and make sure that, again, they are progressing as required. And functional skills, if they haven't got exemptions and they want to complete that as part of the programme, they can absolutely opt in to complete their English and maths qualification as well. So this slide just talks around the responsibilities of managers and mentors. So the mentor and manager will both be expected to support on a day-to-day basis. They will be expected to attend all the progress reviews. These will all be booked in advance, so you'll know well in advance when they are happening. There will need to be a mentor in the workplace so that the learner can go to that mentor anytime. You will need to ensure that they are getting the government required 20% off the job training. So that is for a full-timer who works 35 to 40 hours. That's roughly 6 to 8 hours a week. When we say off the job, that doesn't mean they're sat at home, doing research. They can be doing tasks on site throughout their working day. And also just being there really to review the impact of their learning, to really making sure they are making a difference to your business. Thanks, Kevin. So just in terms of the next steps, in terms of how it operates, so I believe you've all got access to the MyStar easel, so you can express an interest for any of your learners or staff through that. Once that comes through, that will come through to myself. I will send you all of the relevant information you require if you need anything further. So whether you require fact sheets, whether you actually want us to recruit for you, that's an option as well. Once that has come through, we will then send an invite to the learner and the manager to attend an engagement session with ourselves. That will cover the role of remit, expectations, and the roles of the learner and manager throughout the programme. The learner will need to complete a remit application form. There will be assessments that they will be needing to do if they haven't got exemptions, like I said. And everyone will need to complete a skills review just to make sure that they do meet government funding. Once all that has been completed, there will be an enrolment session for both the learner and the manager to attend. And that's just where they sign all the paperwork to basically start them on their journey and learning. There is also a requirement that you will need to set up as a pub, a levy account on the government website, which we will talk through with you, but that is a requirement to ensure you get the funding that you require. Thank you. That was a whistle-stop tour. If you've got any questions, obviously there's my details. If you need any more information on the specific programs, I think Kevin and Tracy are going to send them out at the end of this session. But if you want any further information, then please do not hesitate to contact me. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Brilliant. I will now. Can you? I take it you can all hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So we can. So I'm now. So thank you, Lisa. That was brilliant. I'm now going to hand it over to Ben at Hit Training.
Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate everyone joining and anyone listening to the recording. As Lisa said, we're just here to talk about apprenticeships and tools to help build a sort of skilled, stable, motivated teams, helping things with, which I'll go into a little bit, sort of your staffing challenges, retention, and ultimately what we can do to support sort of the bottom line within your business, within your pub. A little bit about HIT Training then. So HIT Training simply stands for Hospitality Industry Training. The business was set up 2006 by people from the industry, for the industry, and essentially people ensuring that we've got the right skill sets, understand the nuances and challenges within this industry. And that's what we've been doing sort of since 2006. We are, all of our trainers come from the industry as well. Don't know if you can change the next slide, Kevin, or feel like back to COVID days. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we operate nationally. All of our teams, like I said, have come from the industry as well. And some of the key bits on here, similarly to sort of Lisa and Remit, we've got a completion rate to 70%, and we do a bit about busting myths, but apprentices within the industry and within the training, 7 out of 10 of them are actually going to stay. And I've got some stats. I've worked in and around pubs for 20 plus years. I've been in apprenticeships for 15 years. I've worked with pub partners that have had a turnover of in excess of 70, 80, 90%. So we're looking at kind of flipping that on its head, and 7 out of 10 of those people will be staying within the business. Last year, keeping with the sevens, we did over 7,000 hospitality catering apprenticeships. And yeah, similar to sort of Remit and Lisa, we're here to just help support and upskill and give you and your teams the skills and how apprenticeships can help with that, really. A little bit on the next slide about sort of what drives us. Our values and organisation, as I said, we get people from within the industry that are actually working now as what we call VTs, so coaches that come out face to face into your sites to support your people. Ultimately, our goal is supporting you, and it's about going the extra mile. It's about passion. It's about pride. It's about fun. A lot of people, myself, working in the industry, it is a cultural thing as well. You're not just working in pubs because it's your normal sort of 9 to 5, as we know it's not. You're not watching bank holidays and Christmases and Easters go by. It's that sort of camaraderie, it's that fun that you need to have to be able to operate and be successful in this environment. Next slide, I won't do a deep dive into because, as I said, Lisa's done a brilliant job really of covering all the apprenticeships, but just to show you a little bit of the career path here, is you can start from sort of a level 2 hospitality team member or commis chef, production chef, all the way through to supervisors, chef de partie, senior production chef, up to level 4 and level 5. Talking about some of these senior ones here, so somebody much better than myself, another Lisa, Lisa Clapson, she is the sort of key account manager. She is the key contact for from HIT Training for you guys at Star. So she is at the House of Commons today, being National Apprenticeship Week, and we've got a couple of individuals. So Sarah, the licensee, and Lauren, the assistant, I believe from the Half Moon, they're at the House of Commons today because Sarah's completing her level 7, so degree level senior leadership degree. So that is a degree, recognised degree in senior leadership level 7. And the same with Lauren on the hospitality manager level 4. So they are massive advocates. I don't want to send them loads of work, and I haven't spoken to them about this, but they may be the people following this to actually get the warts and all account of what it takes to be an apprenticeship and how that's benefited them and their teams, really. But very similar, Lisa's gone through the detail of all the things that are on offer here. What I will go into a little bit of detail is, if you want the added wow, and you wanted something extra, and you wanted to for recruitment piece, you can either get people onto a program and the coaches come into your sites and actually support you. We try and do that as much as possible face-to-face, predominantly as face-to-face, but we've got a couple of things that we do also, hospitality academies. So we have, with regards to academies, they just a little bit of added extra, where if you go on to the next slide, please, Kevin, I will go through a little bit. Again, this will be a bit of a follow-up, a little bit of workshops. So there's a couple of added sort of enrichment, and what they do is contextualize it. So depending on the audience, it will either be a cohort of all people from Start or cohort of people from pubs of similar pubs that we work with. So you'll be able to a deep dive, and you can help tailor this as a business, but like wines and spirits, barista skills, serving techniques, food psychology and service around that. And these are all sort of sizzle sessions, so to speak, where they get out and about in academies. For example, we've got about 7 or 8 around the country, but there's one in Edgbaston, which is quite local to me, where they will go and do hands-on out of the business. And then a workshop 2 would be that service experience. So you're going through sort of identifying service touch points, that memory-making moment, storytelling, and consultative sales strategies, getting them to get the extra peppercorn sauce and or whatever it may be. We also do one on the next slide around chefs, something we're super passionate around. It's Chef Academy. And again, you can catch up with Lisa or look at the slides afterwards, but we do sort of commie chef workshops, chef de partie, and production and senior chef workshops. So these are a little bit more, I'm not saying intense, but with the chef side of things, a lot more workshops involved. As you can see in some of these, there's workshops, either sort of 5-6 workshops. So you're looking at game and offal, fish and shellfish, vegetables, vegetable proteins, bread, bakery, patisserie. And as you can see on here, it goes on. And it's a lot of it around about food trends, the psychology around food. And they are sort of interactive workshops. We provide all of the ingredients, the menus, and we go and sort of teach those people with professional chefs, like through some of our clients and customers, partners like Marcus Waring and other people are involved in some of those as well. So that is just maybe a little bit, if that was something that was interest or you wanted to follow up with Lisa Clapson. Next slide, please. And yeah, so I wanted to go into this bit, and this applies for sort of all apprenticeships, so really just a few myth busters. Apprenticeships are for young people, and the reality is there is no age limit. Whether you need to be 16 and above, but there's no age limit. And a lot of the times I've worked in apprenticeships for a long time, it could be somebody who's had a family, it could be somebody who wants a career change, it could have been somebody who's unfortunately had some situation in life or an accident, and they really just want to get back into it. So there is no age limit on this. So a lot of people, you think sort of NVQs back to YTS schemes, there is no age limit. So age is just a number. And anyone that wants to sort of get these skills and this confidence building are available to do an apprenticeship. Apprenticeships are going to sort of blow my budget, and especially with off-the-job training. So they are an investment, but they're not a money pit. So the government, or in this instance, STAR, are going to sort of contribute, or we've got people that pay levies that are expiring funds, essentially, that will support to pay for it. So there's no cost in that sense. And I'll go on to a couple of slides in a moment around sort of incentives also. But you're bringing new talent in, and you, as I said, we will be there to support you. Think of it as sort of like internal sort of training budget. So it's difficult operating in this industry as it is, but this is going to be paid for, and you're essentially getting somebody to come out like these learning coaches, vocational trainers, to actually support you in your business and actually pick up that training. Why would somebody, saying here, would somebody do a degree? Want to do a level 2 or level 3? And again, it's building real world skills. These are hands-on. This isn't sort of academia where it's all sort of paper-based in theory. This is actually in the business doing the job day to day. So they're gaining hands-on experience. Another sort of myth around apprentices are going to take up all your time with mentoring. Now, mentoring apprenticeship isn't about hand-holding them 24/7. It's getting a chance to, mould future stars, look at that development pipeline. And I've always found it, if you've got, for example, like an assistant or supervisor, or somebody's got an aspiration to do more, maybe that person that you go to when you can eventually try and get a bit of holiday and you want to leave your business, your pub in safe hands, they can actually be the mentor as well. So it's actually developing people already in your existing business, plus you've got the trainers that are coming out. Apprentices are only for sort of entry-level tasks, and again, that's not the case. We are training them up from industry experts. We get your sort of input into that as well, so we get the right training plan, and you can kind of build into that to make sure that these, again, specific skills that have aligned to your business and what you need. And once apprenticeships are over, apprentices just leave for another job. They, as I said, 7 out of 10 apprentices stay within the business with the success rates. So it's a bit of a win-win. And also with an apprentice, it's bringing in fresh ideas, fresh talent. I've witnessed myself in the pub industry, apprentices coming in and sort of really adding value to that business, whether it be they're absolute experts. And I am going back to, maybe, I'm not saying all younger people are better on social, but I know my kids are. I need to get their support. But with like just sort of fun, exciting clips, the way that they advertise, helping with posters, doing things a little bit differently when it's your quiet periods, getting events in, getting the football teams in, getting anything that can actually support in maybe those quieter times. So that's a little bit about myth busting. Again, we can take any questions and we will send all this off too. And sort of covering on some of these bits, staff retention. Pubs, typically, these are the statistics, 47, 67% turnover. I know in pubs a lot higher than that. So achievement rates, again, this is sort of across the industry with your remits as well. These people are going to stay in. I keep saying it, sort of 7 out of 10 of those people actually stay within. Productivity, so short staffing, as you know, turnover impacts productivity, and bringing those apprentices in to support with that, again, with the fresh ideas as well. And just understanding, having that friendly face when you go into a pub, understanding about pub perks. And for example, they're expiring at the end of the month, but encouraging them to do that. And then the new incentives, 30% off, which was the meals, the 2 for 15, knowing I've done a few shifts actually previously in the Star, knowing with the sort of stock rotation, the lasagna with pancetta, you need to make sure that obviously we don't want to cook that straight from frozen usually. So it's all those little things that these people can help with sort of productivity and ultimately that profitability piece. Customers, we create these programs, but having that, again, that friendly face, you walk in the pub, you know that they're coming in on a Wednesday and they just know what you're going to drink. And it's those little bits that make you return continuously. Recruitment, so pub vacancies are up now over the last couple of years, 48%. So operators offering apprenticeships, business owners offering apprenticeships, attracting sort of different people and motivated staff. And it is a culture and it is getting people into the industry. And sometimes, again, younger people, it's the hearts and minds of their parents as well. But then you can talk through things like people going to do degree level, and it's attracting those people into this industry. That all ties into sort of that future-proofing piece. So you're getting people into the business, they're committed, you've trained them, you've nurtured them, you've molded them, you developed them to hopefully one day become a brilliant operator like yourself and sort of a business owner like yourselves. And again, all that comes back down to that profitability piece. National insurance savings. So just to be clear, this is for under 25s as it stands. So as of April 2025, employers don't pay Class 1 NI contributions on anyone on an apprenticeship. So this isn't just recruiting somebody in. We've talked about that age limit. Anybody on that apprenticeship not paying that NI up to 50k. Let's say an apprentice or somebody in your business is on £20,000. That's £2,250 going to the bottom line. And with that, there's no extra paperwork required. You don't have to go off and claim it. The NI is simply not charged. And we help and Remit and Co will help with those reports to ensure that that is all sort of processed and those savings hit your bottom line. And a little bit around sort of incentives then. So £1,000 young apprentice incentive. So anyone that you bring into the business or we can recruit into the business or you've already recruited and you want to put them on an apprenticeship, is 16 to 18, you get £1,000 payment for apprentices, £1,000 sort of tax-free. Now, that is at 590 days, just to be clear, and 500 at 365 days. Now, also apprentices which have been on an EHC plan or care leaver status, have been in the care system, again, 19 to 25, that'll be £1,000 incentive as well to getting those people, nurturing them and bringing them up into the business. And that, again, like I said, applies to all staff there. And this is more so as a sort of a takeaway, and it kind of follows on about this career development piece, but we could tailor this to businesses, but looking at graduate programs, bringing in talent and getting them to stay in the industry, getting them to stay loyal to yourselves and help you build up your business and give you that security, productivity, but also, again, just being able to go and have a long weekend or a week away, knowing that you haven't got to get a relief manager from somewhere else and be able to support you. And the next slide, again, which we'll send out, we've been working with all the sort of big breweries, but you can potentially look in the future. It doesn't have to be a 5-year program, but get somebody on into the business, supervising hospitality, into hospitality manager, similar to Lovin, which I talked about, which is at the House of Commons, all the way through to that senior hospitality degree level, like Sarah, sort of the licensee there, operator, business owner at the Half Moon. So any sort of information you want on that, if you've got any questions or you want to follow up when they send out the deck. And again, you've got contact details there, and then you're encouraged to use the MyStar Easel platform, as Lisa said as well. So if you can go in and have a look at all the resources and get some nominations through there.
Thank you very much, Ben. Brilliant.
Pleasure, thank you.
So thank you both to Ben and Lisa. That's really informative. Are there any questions from anyone? Well, we've got Ben and Lisa here. Or was it stunned silence?
Taking it all in.
Exactly.